It's official, Alejandro Garnacho is a Chelsea player and Xavi Simons is a Tottenham player. Newcastle have dropped a small fortune on a 2-metre forward. Milan are moving like a club with a plan. There's noise around Robert Lewandowski in Saudi Arabia, and just when you thought Madrid had locked down their right flank, Trent Alexander-Arnold is suddenly reading the Bernabéu bench like a tourist guide. If this episode hits 350 likes, I'll sit down straight away and start the next one. Oh, waiting, no mercy. Let's dive in. Newcastle finally got their battering ram. Nick Woltemade is on Tyneside, €85 million plus €5 million in bonuses. Contract to 2030. Medical done. Papers signed. Stuttgart said goodbye. The Magpies said welcome home. Bayern sniffed around but couldn't find agreement. And Newcastle moved fast, exactly the profile Eddie Howe wanted. 198 centimeters. Yes, but not a statue. Mobile, technical, wins sky battles, and can still drop in to link play like a disguised 10. In the Bundesliga they called him a unique 9, and that's precisely the point. This isn't a squad filler, this is a door opener, because that door, it's the one Alexander Isak is trying to walk through. The Swede hasn't trained, hasn't played, doesn't plan to extend. Everyone knows the score. Liverpool remain the singular suitor. The first bid at £110 million bounced. A second record-breaking move, waiting for the right signal. Isak is pushing for Anfield. The final days of the window are built for this kind of pressure cooker. Newcastle, in parallel, are shopping for another forward to cover Callum Wilson's exit. Ewan Wissa is high on the list. While Wolves want to keep Jurgen, Strand, Larson, and the Magpies don't want a Woltemade clone. Net the 9 is solved. The Isak exit lane is nearly clear. And there's one last push coming before the shutters slam. Milan are busy, and it feels purposeful. Christopher Nkunku is close. Direct contact with Chelsea, a permanent offer, no loans, no gimmicks in the €30 to 40 million range, and the player has agreed basic terms with the Rossoneri. He hasn't kicked a ball under Enzo Maresca this season, never truly cemented a starting spot after the Leipzig move, and this is the right time to flip the page. Tactically, it's a cheat code. Nkunku can be a 10, a winger, or a second striker, exactly the elastic piece a flexible coach craves. While that cooks, Milan have also checked in on Manuel Akanji. Fabrizio Romano says it's an inquiry for availability, not yet a bid. City are open to trimming the group. Akanji hasn't featured and wasn't even in the last squad. Galatasaray already shook hands with City on a fee, but the player hasn't greenlit Turkey. That's Milan's opening. Pair him with Fikayo Tomori, stabilize a backline that's lost Kalulu to injury and is preparing for life beyond Kayar. Champions League minutes. Treble experience. Akanji would step in without an instruction manual. If Nkunku lands, watch. Milan accelerate on the Swiss as part of a bigger rebuild. Across West London, Fulham are playing poker with a straight face over Raheem Sterling. Chelsea want a clean exit, either a permanent deal for around £10 to 15 million or a loan where they don't fund the whole salary. Sterling is training separately and isn't in Maresca's plans. The player wants to stay in London, making Fulham and West Ham the favorites. But the Cottagers won't be armed. Last summer Chelsea blinked first and covered wages. This time Fulham are waiting for similar flexibility. If it comes, Sterling becomes one of their splashiest signings in years. If not, this stalls on the one thing that breaks more deals than tactics ever will: money. Robert Lewandowski. Saudi tried to move a mountain. 2 offers north of €100 million per season. Image rights, league development bonuses, commercial tines, everything but a crown and scepter. Pini Zahavi confirmed the talks were real. Robert said no. He's locked on Barcelona, chasing trophies and legacy. Contract to June 2026. 42 goals last season, 27 in La Liga, still the fulcrum of Barca's attack. The Saudi story isn't dead forever. I visit in 2026, but right now his compass points at the camp. New, and the Champions League. Fermin Lopez has shaken up the script. Days ago he sounded immovable at Barca. Now he's open to Chelsea. The Blues are preparing a serious offer that could rise into the €70 to 75 million range. Barcelona publicly want to keep him. Privately admit a number near €90 million changes the conversation. Chelsea are offering a starting role, a bigger salary, and the keys to the center of the pitch. Hansi Flick likes the player, but finances and a crowded midfield could force a compromise. This is down to Fermin's courage and Barca's calculator. The clock is not a neutral party. Chelsea did, however, close the headline move that's going to own talk radio for a week. Alejandro Garnacho to Stamford Bridge. £40 million fixed, plus 10% of any future sale. 7-year contract through 2032. United once sat on £50 million. Chelsea once capped at £30 million. Garnacho made it easy. He only wanted Chelsea, turning down Bayern, Napoli, and Saudi bids. It's the 4th biggest sale in United's history, and the biggest for an academy graduate. For Chelsea, it's the 9th signing of the summer, and maybe the loudest. Presentation day is set for before Fulham at the Bridge. The flashbulbs are ready. And that other London blockbuster. It's done. Xavi Simons to Tottenham. €51.8 million from RB Leipzig. Medical past. Personal terms already agreed. Almost every insider had him Chelsea bound until the very last bend. The player himself was drawn to the Bridge. Then Chelsea pivoted to Fermin Lopez. Tottenham sprinted through the gap. And now Thomas Frank gets the perfect fit for his system. Simons is fast, technical, creative, happy, on the flank, or at 10 livewire to cover the Maddison injury and a long-term centerpiece when the squad is full. He wanted Champions League nights and a defined role. Spurs are promising both. Debut imminent. Atmosphere volcanic. Aston Villa are trying a reunion tour with a twist. Marco Asensio, 1 year left at PSG, is in direct talks for a permanent move. Villa are at €15 million. Paris want €20 million. Optimism sits in the middle. Unai Emery is pushing hard. Asensio's spring loan spell produced 8 goals and an assist in 21 matches. A far brighter return than his Parisian months. No loans this time. PSG want cash and clarity. In Portugal, Benfica have their new No. 10. Georgi Sudakov arrives from Shakhtar after Rui, Pedro, Braz and Dario. Cerna hammered out a €27 million deal with €5 million in bonuses and a 20% future sale clause. Contract to 2030. At 22, he's already carrying grown man numbers, 37 games, 15 goals, 6 assists last season. Lisbon has a new conductor. Turkey is not playing by old rules anymore. Galatasaray are spending like a soup club. Leroy Sane arrives on a monster salary. Victor Osimhen is billed as their new record signing. Akanji is final stages. Ederson is in talks. Wilfried Singo is through the door for €30 million, with additional pieces like Frankowski and Jakob stacking the spend past €120 million and potentially beyond €170 million if the remaining dominoes fall. This isn't just a domestic arms race. Gala are building a Champions League street fighter with a heavyweight's punch. And now, a plot twist. Tailor-made for chaos merchants, Trent Alexander-Arnold left Liverpool for Real Madrid to headline a new era. Except Dani Carvajal never got the memo. He's back, he's starting, and Trent's early auditions have drawn more raised eyebrows than standing ovations. The Spanish press has sharpened the knives. The bench has become familiar. Into that silence steps Manchester City. Pep Guardiola is tracking the situation, imagining Trent as Kyle Walker's heir. Picture it, Alexander-Arnold in sky blue, raking diagonals. Onto Haaland's head, a Liverpool icon routed through Madrid to Manchester. For Liverpool fans, it's popcorn and palpitations. For everyone else, it's cinema. If City truly move, it won't be a transfer, it'll be a cultural earthquake. That's the lot today. Garnacho in Chelsea blue, Simons in lily white. Newcastle striding into a new era with a giant at 9 in one hand on the Isaac exit lever. Milan sharpening the front line and weighing an inter-strength defender. Sterling's London Tugavor, Lewandowski's principled stand. Fermin's looming decision, Asensio's Premier League encore, Sudakov's Lisbon chapter, and a Turkish giant rewriting the market rules. And somewhere between Valdebebas and the Etihad, Trent's future is turning into a Netflix pilot. If you're still here, you're one of us. Smash like, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and drop your takes below. Does Isaac force his way to Anfield? Do Milan land both Nkunku and Akanji? Should Fulham go in on Sterling? And would Trent to City be the wildest twist of the season? I'll be back the moment we cross 350 likes with the next episode and the next set of fireworks.